Hey, welcome back to the first part of the advanced logging system using jQuery and PHP with Ajax. Here we're going to learn all the code, how it's been typed. I use the materialize modal for the forms. As you can see, the ID for the form is rich form, and the ID for the email input is email, and the ID for the uh, full name is F name. The ID for password. The ID for gender input is gender, and you have another ID which where all our reports is going to be displayed, which is message. We also have our bridge button ID. Now on the login system.js, that's where we're going to type all our JavaScript or jQuery code in. Now let's get our document ready. First, we are going to write the function that is going to handle the registration button. That's Now this function is going to execute only when the registration button is being clicked. Now you can use const as a variable declaration, you can use let as a variable declaration, you also use val, but on this tutorial I'm using let for the variable declaration for some reasons. After this tutorial you are entitled to ask any question. Don't worry, no matter how done with this I will attend to it. Don't be scared to ask any question if you don't understand. So what is happening here, I'm just declaring the variable and I'm assigning to every value that's going to be typed in the input box to these variables. Now first was the f name, which is the variable that's going to take the value from the input field name f name, which is the full name. The second is the email variable, who is going to take the input from the email input. The third one is the phone number, which I use the pin number as the variable name, and the pin number is the ID name, which we use to get the values from the input field phone number and store it in the pin number variable. Don't worry, I'm going to do copy and paste here. Sometimes I get tired of typing, so I'm going to do a little copy and paste. Don't get confused, it's just simple, just follow the procedure, you get it. The last, that's the fifth variable, is the password. And mind you, I'm using the retype password, but I'm using password as the retype password field, which you get the values, also get the value from the retype password field. Now I'm going to use the value to check for mismatch. Now let's validate our form here. We are going to write a series of if statements. On this form, we want to check if any field is going to be empty. Now first we are checking the first field, which is the f name, that's the full name field. If it is empty, this is a message going to display. Now the message is going to display it on the message div container. That's why I created that div for all reports messages. Now you can actually now write the message that you want it to appear on the you can actually write your HTML code inside jQuery functions using that HTML. Now as you can see, we put a little styling on the script. That's red, style red, as the color of the text is going to be red. to make it look like a little bit sound like a little bit warning to you. Now after the message has been displayed, I wanted to focus back to the full name field, so you'll be able to type in the name. And that after that, I want you to return false. That's I want you to terminate the code here. That's return false. I mean, it's not going to execute any other code until that condition is met. That's why I use that return false there. Oh my god, I just do a little bit copy and paste here. So I'm going to do it for all the fields, all the input field in the form, to make sure that no field is left blank. That's for the password field. Now lastly, let's validate the password match, checking if the password match with the first one that you typed. So here we're going to use the first variable, which is the password. Then if it is not equal to a password, then let this happen. Let it display a message to the message div container. And what happens here is going to prompt the user to retype the password and make sure that the password match with the first one that he or she typed. That's cross-checking the password if it really match. Mind you, if you don't really understand what's going on here, you can simply drop a comment or your question on the comment section in our blog, and I will try as much as possible to attend to that. Don't be afraid to drop in any message. Like I said before, no matter how dumb it is, I I'll be glad to attend to it. So return false. Now on the next step, you're going to write our Ajax function, which will now communicate with the server. It's the Ajax function that is going to communicate with the server, that is send data to the server, receive data from the server, then display to the user without refreshing the page. Now inside here, we're going to write our script. And the first method you're going to write is the URL, that's specifying the location where Ajax is sending the file to. Now inside this file I created a insert query .php file inside queries folder. Don't worry, you get the source code and play around with it after this tutorial. Now the method is going to use this post. Now let's declare all the data that are going to be sent to the server. The first is the f name, which is the full name. The second is the email. The third is the PIN number, which is the phone number of the user. Now we have our gender. lastly the password. Now what we are going to do next, now we are going to write a function that is going to execute before sending the data to the server, that's making the site or the form more interactive, like something like making it to seems like it is loading a particular page or something like that. Right, I downloaded a small GIF image that is going to be displayed for like 2 seconds before sending the data to the server for execution. Now this is the function that we use for the now this function is going to execute before sending the data now to the server. And yeah, I want you to display a little GIF image that is going to be displayed for like 2 seconds before sending the data or executing the main file that is going to send the data to the database. I inserted the image using the HTML script, which the image is inside an img image, and the name of the image is loader.gif. You can simply download the GIF image anywhere, or simply I will leave a link for you to download some GIF that you're going to use on this tutorial. So nice, let's now send the data to the server. Now this is the success function, whereby this function is going to give us feedback of whatever happened and around server. This function serves as a report, like getting the information from the server, sending information to server. Now on this function, I'm going to reuse a set timeout so that the image will be able to, that's the GIF image that I started earlier enough, will be able to load before sending data to the server. Now inside the set timeout function, you will not get the data from the server. Or here I want the every information that we're going to get from the server to display at the center. So I use the plus sign to concatenate the my HTML script. Mind you, this tutorial is not really for beginners. But if you really want to learn HTML and the materialize design, you can simply drop a comment on the comment section. I can make our time to make a tutorial about HTML and materialize design. Now this is the all we have on this part of the tutorial. The next part we are going to talk about uh, the PHP query that is going to handle the query that's inserting the data inside the database. That's what we are going to treat on the next part of this tutorial. Now we are done with this. Thank you for really watching. I really appreciate. But if you really find this helpful, you can simply drop a comment or a like and follow my YouTube channel for more updates on the second part of this tutorial, which will be dropped soon. Now you can also visit my blog to download the source code and